Item number 3 is approval of the agenda, and the request has been made to switch item 4 and 5 and do the Ag Extension Building first, so I'd like a motion to do that. I have that from Commissioner Sumners, a second from Commissioner McKelvey. Any discussion on the agenda? All right, seeing none, we'll vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you for that. And that leads us to item number 5, discussion of the Ag Extension Building, and I believe we have Eric or who's leading that. Al, okay, Al's going to lead that conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have from Hewlett Spencer their GMP.
Oh, let me go ahead and let the rest of the commission know. Steve Hewlett has got COVID. He and his wife are sick, and he's taking care of them. And also, Jamie is under quarantine as well. So they have sent some others from their team here, and we'll let them introduce. Yeah, they have their attorney, Mr. Warren. So there's some others here to represent them, but that is why Steve himself is not here tonight. Go ahead, Ray, or Al. Thank you.
And also Ron.
And Ron Bergazzi, yeah, he's got COVID as well.
Who we're working with on this building. And but I talked to him several times yesterday, this morning, and then have an email from them with the GMP for the Yanali building and Ag Extension building. That GMP is $2,204,000. The itemization that's on the email, and the only itemization that's on it included in that is $180,000 for contingency. That is a little higher than normal contingency, but I think everybody understands why. I'll be glad to. I mean, we sat through a whole lot of meetings with contractor. They absolutely have worked diligently since we got the plans to get pricing and availability of materials. But as we all know, there are a lot of things that are harder to nail down in the environment we're in. But they do feel confident, obviously, with that number.
All right, I do have, the floor is open for discussion at this point. I have a light. Commissioner Sumners, you're up first, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to send this 2.204 number to the Budget Committee.
All right, we have a motion. I have a second from Commissioner McKelvey, and the floor is open for discussion on the motion. I would like to make the reminder to everybody that this building is not being paid for with property taxes, and so it is not costing the homeowners of Maury County. This is coming out of the adequate facilities taxes, and so this is a win-win for everybody. Seeing no other discussion, we do have a light. I'm sorry, Commissioner Stevenson, you have a light on. Or Doug, did you want to? Well, let me go ahead and hear from Sue. You mind?
Want him to go.
All right, Doug, go ahead.
I just wanted to make a point that currently in our budget that is going to be voted on Monday, $2.31 million was allocated for the Ag Extension building. So this would be able to cover it, and it is out of the Adequate Facilities Fund.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Stevenson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just had one question, and that was, excuse me, is this one building?
Is this one building?
It is one building that will house Ag Extension and park offices and a meeting room in the back of it, but yes, it is all under one roof.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Kevin Markham, you have your light on, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess this is a procedural comment, but is the $180,000 in contingency, how does that factor in our GMP with Hewlett Spencer? I know it's included.
I should have included the rest of that sentence. It's a contingency fund of $180,000, which is controlled solely by Maury County. And it is, included in the GMP that I gave you. That total includes that contingency fund that, again, says it is controlled by us.
Okay, thank you.
And it was in the first phase at Yanali, we had a contingency that was under ours. Some of the things at that time came in under that contingency, along with some of our points that we came in under on, along with the in-kind work that we got from Highway Department, was what allowed us to do more than the actual scope of the job and scope of the grant.
You good, Kevin? Commissioner Stevenson, you're allowed one more time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one question again, and I've been out for a bit, so maybe I missed it, but were there ever any drawings or plans or anything shown to the commission on this building?
Plans were Lyle Cook and Martin, by the way, are the architects. The plans got changed 2 or 3 times, as they always do, and they were so last minute. I was not able to, and I don't, apparently then Hewlett Spencer did not, but there is a set of plans of a floor plan. They're not the build plans, but there was a floor plan and enough specifications for them to do that, and the engineering from civil site is included in that too.
Are we going to be able to see that floor plan before the vote at the budget meeting?
The budget meeting, no. Full commission, perhaps.
When I sit back down, I'll fish through my emails if it pleases the
sure, if you've
chairman.
got it and can send it, yeah.
Or if you can send it out.
I don't remember if I have that in a form electronically. Again, it was kind of a rush. We had the papers out on the table during the meetings.
That's fine. Thank you, if you can. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
I see no other lights. In that case, I'm sorry, Daniel, yes, sir.
Yeah, because I think Al just answered my question based upon his statement to Ms. Stevenson. I think this resolution or acceptance of GMP needs to be contingent upon the park board actually accepting the plans, because they're the one who control the parks and what is constructed there. You all fund it. And I don't know that the commission needs to enter into a GMP until the park board has actually said, yeah, we're good to go with this. We don't, I know they've been in conversations, and Al's kept them up.
Actually at the meetings, but
Until they approve it, I mean, which I think they would, I just think that's a formality you all need to include, just to make sure we're not overstepping bounds and getting ourselves into a situation. That's just my concern.
Understood. Commissioner Sumners.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll make that as part of my motion to be contingent upon the park board, you know, approving the plans, and if we do get the plans, Al, we can make that as an attachment on the agenda for Monday night. Okay.
And you agree with that on, okay, Commissioner McKelvey agrees with that on his second. Al, when's park board gonna meet?
they're due to meet. They're trying to come up with a date for everybody, so it won't be long.
Okay. All right, we've had a motion on the floor. It has been seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you for that, gentlemen.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, item 5, Ag Extension Building GMP. That number that was passed to us was $2,204,000. Is that correct, Mr. Ray? $2,204,000, correct? All right. So that is within budget. So I'll entertain a motion to, and this, we're going to send this to the full commission. Is that correct, Mr. Murphy? We're sending this to the full commission for Monday. Subject to park board approval and subject to the budget, of course, being approved as well. But it's in the budget anyway. So, all right, Miss Haney has made the motion, and the second by Miss Stevenson, I believe. Any discussion? Seeing no lights, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, item 4, Judicial Center GM.
Way down at the bottom, 72231, Mr. Murphy.
This resolution approves a guaranteed maximum price contract with Hewlett Spencer for the construction of a new agricultural extension services building at Yanali Park in the amount of $2,204,000. The funds are coming from the adequate facility budget. The current budget that actually you all ratify or pass tonight over the veto has funds in the amount of $2,310,000. The resolution would be contingent upon the Tennessee Comptroller approving the county's budget and the park board approving the plans for the building. I believe Mr. Ray sent out those, or had those plans sent out today, or sometime. I saw them today.
Motion by Commissioner Sumner, seconded by Commissioner McKelvey. Any discussion? Seeing none?
They haven't met yet.
Any further comments? Seeing none? Sharon? 22 ayes. I'm punch drunk, I think. 22 ayes, 7, 22, 31's approved. Any new business, please say no.
Santa Fe, same issue at that school. The number that was given was 6.5. We hard bid it at 4.5. And I'm not saying at all that Hewlett Spencer wouldn't have got to that number at some point. They could have. But we were asked to do a professional service, provide the options, and that's what we do.
The owner advocate RFPs were submitted, and they have been also attached to the agenda, and they were sent out to the committee. And I will open up the floor for discussion on that. Commissioner Grodi.
So at some point, do you want a motion before we have discussion?
I would like to, we would definitely entertain a motion, but I think, we want to discuss it, and if the committee would like to make a motion to move this forward.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to make the owner advocate Klein, Sweeney and Associates.
Okay, is there a second on that? Okay, there's a second on that. Grodi and Jeter. All right, any discussion? Commissioner Jeter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I seconded that for discussion. However, I would like to go on record here. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. We're always on record, right? But personally, I do not feel like that we need an owner's advocate. However, if this committee and this commission is adamant that we have to have or should have an owner's advocate, based on the proposals that were provided to me and to this commission, which I have spent hours reviewing, I feel that Klein, Sweeney, and Associates is the best proposal that we have. And am prepared to go into details as to why that is, but I would love to hear from other committee members and other commissioners as well. But I don't believe we need this. I don't believe we have to have an owner's advocate. I believe that we could, in coordination with our public building authority that is coming, I feel that we could hire a single, highly qualified project manager, county employee that could handle what these services would provide at a much, much cheaper cost to the county and to the taxpayers. I know that's not on the agenda tonight for discussion, so I'm not going to say anything further on that. I believe that this is a waste of taxpayers' money. I believe that we can hire a PM and manage this through the Public Building Authority without the need of an owner's advocate. However, if this committee and this commission desires that this is something we have to have, then I will cast my vote for Klein, Sweeney and Associates. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeter. Commissioner Markham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know where to start, but I too spent quite a bit of time reviewing the proposals. And on the Klein Sweeney proposal, I think it should be owner advocates because there's two parties involved in that proposal. My thought there is who's working for who. For lack of a better terminology, if we have an issue as a county commission, whose throat do you put your hands around? I mean, who's your actual contact? I definitely respect Mr. Jeter, but what I do understand also is in the construction business, if we have a county employee that's a project manager, he doesn't have near the contacts with subs and general contractors that either of these proposed advocates would have. I think the savings can be brought to us, the cost can be compensated by the savings brought to us through their negotiating and I'm trying to think of the terminology when you value engineer something, I guess is the right terminology for me. But my personal thought is we haven't had an issue with Hewlett Spencer that I'm personally aware of in the 6+ years that I've been on the commission. But that's all I'll say at this point, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Markham. Go ahead, Doug.
Patty is actually ill tonight, so she's watching and taking notes, but she put out the RFP. In this case, the RFP was put out for a design build team. So the design part would be KSA, and then oversight would be your build part and your advocate. They would, I assume, come as one and can answer these questions themselves. They both have necks, so I guess you could choke them both, or whoever you felt you needed to. But yeah, because of how the RFP was worded, it was a design and build team, so together they're one.
Thank you for that, Doug. Commissioner Pravetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I completely concur and agree with Commissioner Markham's assessment, so who's working for who with the two parties. I've had a relationship working with Hewlett Spencer for 10 years being on the commission. They first came on board building the new Central High School, and within a week of coming on board, they found us a $50,000 savings by changing the tile that the SSOE architects had put in there. And so, they've done what this commission has told them to do. I am of the personal opinion that the high school, the Battle Creek High School, is millions of dollars over budget because this commission initially funded, I think it was $74 million for this school. And then they decided to move it into an embankment, and they had to build retaining walls, and that made it go up millions of dollars more than it really needed to have been had it been in a different spot on that property. So I can't support that motion if it comes to the full commission. I don't get to speak on it as being chair, so my time is now. I think that Hewlett Spencer is still the correct answer if we go with the owner advocate route. they have proved to us time and time again their ability to do right by this county. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Pravetti. Who we got? Commissioner Evans.
Thanks, sir. Ditto what Mr. Pravetti said, and then go back even a little further. And I know, Mr. Woolever, those of us have been around when the SSOE and before days, you're talking about a nightmare. Every month was change orders, every month. And then we go to, as he mentioned, the 70 million was what, when Mr. Spencer was talking, or they were talking with us about the school, and now we're at 120 users. Well, you know, when you have somebody gets paid based on how much the building cost, I'm not a genius, but I can pretty much figure out, and they say, well, the percentage is set, but as long as the number goes up, the percentage goes up. Yeah, I think the days of, I don't know how to say it other than we need somebody that knows how to build. When you're building a $110 million building, if you need me to go out and build you a playground in the backyard for your puppy, I'm your person. But if you're building a $120 million building, I can't even tell you where to put the light switches. I don't think any of us in here are qualified to build that kind of building. I mean, some of you have got a lot more experience than the others. But we need somebody looking out after our interest. I think it is potentially expensive in the front end, but on the back end, I think the savings far outweigh the initial cost. And those of us who are around for Building Central, I'm not going to say the word that was when we decided to go with a owner advocate, but it was a mess. Not having one is a mistake. If you hire somebody, they're not going to have the contacts. You know, an individual full-time is not going to have the contacts that either one of the companies are going to have. And like I say, I can't say but anything but good stuff with the Spencer, Hewlett. The Spencers have been great. But anyway, not having one is an asinine statement. And if you don't think so, just build a building without one. And I think the new building from 70 to 100, and I'm not even sure Doug can tell us how high it is. Can you give us an exact number? 70 was what they stood up in front of.
Bart's the
74
architect.
was what they stood up in front of the 6 of us
It
or 8
was
of
70, okay? It's not 74. I'm tired of numbers getting thrown around when you don't really know what you're talking about.
It was.
So just leave that to me. But
Yeah.
it was $70 million for Battle Creek High School.
Right.
That was the original number they came forward for that when they were under Hewlett Spencer. During
Right.
that process, that's when everything fleshed out. And I think that there's a lot of conversations that happen outside of here that spread truth and lies about what has gone on with these projects. And it's unfortunate. It shows that you can't really trust anybody. It pisses me off because who ends up paying for it and at the end of the day is the taxpayer. So like we really do need to have something that we are comfortable with. We do need to have, I feel like, all of the options on the table so that you at least have different options. But at the same time, yeah, it was 70 million. It did escalate, but it's because that was a premature number that was given. And even Hewlett Spencer, just to set the record straight, came back with higher numbers after that. It was because it was during the middle of COVID. Pricing has changed drastically, and I think Hewlett Spencer would agree with me that to get what the school system originally was asking for, you'd have to cut the project down to do it for $70 million. Right. So, yes, it is above 100 million at this point. I think construction costs were 103 last time I checked, but the school system, Eric Perriman, their project manager, or Bart RG Anderson won the bid on that project. That project was open up for bid for any contractor to bid on it. They bid on it, they won it. They build larger projects. And so their prices are tough to touch because they are the ones that build those large projects. So.
And I think the unfortunate part about the whole thing is the school, we give them the money, they don't have to give us information. And I think that's when you end up with misinformation, is when we don't get everything. But the bottom line is, you don't want to build a building of that magnitude, any magnitude, and not have somebody who's a paid professional supervising. We did that years ago, and it does not work, bottom line. But anyway, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Evans. Coming back to the committee, Commissioner Green.
I've only been with this, the last commission and this commission, and I have not been disappointed in what Hewlett Spencer has done in terms of the archives building, in terms of the new Justice Center. And so I do believe in an advocate program. I think it's important for us to have advocates working for us and with us. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Green. Commissioner Jeter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have, I'm just going to get to the, in reviewing these proposals, and here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like that we asked for a proposal, and you get that proposal back, and I think that you have to look at these two entities based on the information that they provide, which is what I've done. I think that there is potentially some infactual information or misinformation in Hewlett and Spencer's proposal. If you would like for me to share that with you, I'd be glad to do so. That concerns me. It concerns me greatly. My choice would be Klein, Sweeney & Associates for several reasons, and I'm going to name a few here. Klein, Sweeney & Associates provided a thorough proposal and actually gave us proposed fees that can be calculated and predicted. Hewlett and Spencer did not. It is a project, their proposal states it is a project by project basis. So we don't know what the fee is. We have historical data. We can guess what the fee is going to be to manage the next project. But we do not have a proposal that actually gives us a fee. Look at the document. Number two, Klein, Sweeney & Associates provided a thorough list of personnel in their proposal that truly covers all sections of construction, from design to warranty, that will be working on our behalf. Not only a list of resumes as well. Key individuals who will be working on our behalf. Klein, Sweeney & Associates' organizational structure is far more superior than Hewlett and Spencer has provided in their proposal. Go look at the document. Klein, Sweeney & Associates will employ a PM team to manage the project. Hewlett and Spencer does not provide a PMT to manage the project, team to manage that project. They rely on the GC they hire to manage the project for them. That is not the case with Klein, Sweeney & Associates based on their proposal. Klein, Sweeney & Associates has provided contact information of references from multiple governing bodies. Hewlett and Spencer has not provided that information in their proposal. Klein, Sweeney & Associates has provided reference letters from several recent clients of theirs. Hewlett and Spencer did not provide such. Quite frankly, Klein, Sweeney & Associates, their proposal in their process is open and it's transparent, and the taxpayers can see exactly how these projects are being built and where the funds are coming and going. In my opinion, Hewlett and Spencer's process is not open and it is not transparent. That's the bottom line. So we as a commission have a decision to make. It's obvious to me that this commission wants an advocate, so let's pick the right advocate for Maury County. And let's make sure that what we do moving forward is open and it's transparent, and that any taxpayer can pull the documents and know exactly where any of this money is going. I'm not making any accusations with that. I am simply saying, I believe that Klein Sweeting Associates process is open and transparent. And I'll leave it at that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeter. Commissioner Grota, your light went off. Okay, Commissioner Grota.
So he took most of my points in looking at both RFPs. There were some holes in it, and can I ask a question directly to Hewlett Spencer?
You can.
If somebody will come up. So my biggest problem, or my biggest thought, is transparency on bidding, on getting the job bid. You have a list in your proposal of 43 jobs. Do you remember that page? And the first 5 of them are Maury County jobs. Of those 43, or even of the 5, what percentage did Bell Construction do the job?
Right now, we have 3 projects going in Maury County. Bell is doing 2 of those, and we have another contractor that is doing 1 of them.
And what's the other?
And we have used other contractors. I've probably used 5 or 6 contractors in Maury County on the different projects that we've done altogether. Okay. I can't rattle off the list of them, but we picked the contractor based on their ability to perform the specific job. But I also want to point out to you that on the 3 jobs that we have under construction right now, we have 3 different architects, not 1 architect, but 3. So if we're representing you, we're going to make sure the architects know that they had better get their work done right, and that their work is competitive as well. It's not just bidding on the materials and the labor, it's bidding on the design and making sure that they're qualified and can do the work, and will work with a team process that's looking out for the interest of the customer and not just for the design spends more of your money than in any other place. They put on paper what everybody else bids, and you need to have somebody that can vet that design and work with them and have them work within the process. There's a different process. To have a contractor and an architect working for you totally together is not the process that we provide. We provide an appropriate contractor that can do the work, that is qualified, and we provide the architect that's best suited. I've worked with probably 12 or more. Today's the first day of my 30th year. Yesterday I finished 29 years of doing this. And the last 10 here as of December, it'll be 10 years here.
Thank you for that.
Mr. Lukonen can tell you that we present all of the bills and all of the details. To say that what we're doing is not transparent is
Commissioner Grota, do you have any other specific question?
I had 2 specific questions. I am seeing a termination fee of $75,000 on the back page where you have your fee estimates.
Yes.
Termination fee. Did we pay a termination fee for Santa Fe Auxiliary Gym, and did we pay a termination fee for Battle Creek High School?
Y'all have not paid us any termination fees for any work, nor has the school board on any of their work.
But it's in your contract. If you leave a project, which these 2 projects, it's my understanding that.
You know, when you're working with people and you have a happy relationship and you get the feedback that we've gotten in every meeting when we make our presentations of how much they appreciate the quality work that we do for you, then you don't turn around and do a termination fee. If that's in the contract, it should be there. but we haven't collected any money, and we've worked on quite a few projects that the commission wanted vetted and checked out. We've spent hours and hours on other projects that if you hadn't had us, you would have been paying an architect and engineers to help you do the vetting. The relationship with that industry, I've gotten you a lot of pro bono work while y'all can have the information you need to make the decisions. Sometimes you don't end up doing the project.
Okay, well, thank you, that's all I had.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Commissioner Grodi. All right, we are still sticking with the committee here. Commissioner Markham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make amendment to the motion, if we could, that both proposals be sent to the full commission for their consideration.
Isn't that a new motion?
That's an amendment to your motion.
All right, we've got a motion on the floor. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner Green has accepted that. Any discussion on that? We got a lot of lights. If you'll just raise your hand if you specifically want to talk about that amendment. Commissioner Pravetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I approve of that amendment. I think that it is a choice that should go to the full commission, that it shouldn't just be, we do that with appointments. We do that with a lot of things. So I think, I think that that's a good move to, have the discussion, but let both choices be made to the commission at that point. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I still want to speak, turn my light back on in the same order that I was before.
We'll leave you on there. Thank you. All right, again, speaking specifically on this amendment, Commissioner Jeter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Daniel, has a building committee ever forwarded two proposals like this in an RFP? Has that ever happened?
Let me interrupt. It may need to go to admin because of a contract. I don't know.
Either way, wherever we're leaving the building committee, we've got two proposals here. I think it's the responsibility of this committee to vote on sending one forward, right, wrong, or indifferent, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember any specific instances. I mean, I remember specific instances where two things were sent. I don't necessarily remember if it were what it was.
RFPs or whatever.
It would go to budget because it deals with potential allocations of funds. Contracts don't go to admin. It's, but it would go to budget for allocation of funds. But I don't remember any specific instance of this occurring, but I remember specific instance of two items being sent forward for a decision at the full commission.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Would it even go to budget because of there's no funds being allocated to it until we?
Well, it deals with allocating funds of whether one is X or, I mean, it's a budgetary ultimate matter.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and same comments to Eric. I've got some other comments.
Okay,
not related to.
We'll leave you on there. All right. Is there any other specific discussion regarding the amendment? Going once, going twice. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and just do a roll call vote on this amendment. Commissioner Stovall, I said raise your hand if you wanted to speak to that specifically. Commissioner Stovall, we've got an amendment on the floor. Do you want to speak on the amendment, sir? Okay, do you want to speak on the amendment, sir? Okay, thank you. Commissioner Stovall.
First of all, I've never heard of Klein Sweeney, no disrespect to them either. I never heard of them. I don't even know anything about it. I never heard of it. And there's no disrespect. But I do know Hewlett and Spencer, how they have saved Maury County hundreds and thousands of dollars. Honest up front, and have saved us a lot of money. I'm not a project manager, but I am a commissioner. And I support Hewlett and Spencer. I support them 100%. And I support this amendment that we take it to the full commission, let the full commission decide who we want. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Stovall. All right. Commissioner Barnard, do you want to speak on the amendment, sir? Okay.
I'm going along with Commissioner Stovall in regard to Hewlett Spencer and what they have done for Maury County in the past. And I'm going to ask, if it's your pleasure, I'm going to ask Steve Hewlett to come back to the microphone for a minute. I've got a question I need to ask him. But now that's up to you if you let him come or not.
Can we get through this amendment, Commissioner Barnard, and then we'll call you back up if you'd like to speak to him?
I'd rather do it now.
Okay. Is your question specific to the amendment?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you. Steve, if you'd like to come up, Commissioner Barnard has got a question for you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Steve, if you would, give us a little background history on the work that you have done for Maury County since you came on board.
Commissioner Barnard, this is not a place this is not a presentation.
I mean, they just.
We've already had the presentation. We've all worked with Hewlett and Spencer, so I'm not going to allow another presentation regarding all of the things that they've done. Because we need to equally give that same time across the other side of the aisle.
We can do that. Why don't you do it tonight then?
Because we've all heard, you've seen the presentations, you've seen the RFPs presented.
Excuse me, Chairman. Like I was saying.
Out of order.
We heard.
Mr. Chairman, we have not been presented these proposals except on paper.
That's right. Nobody's heard from anybody but on paper.
And Hewlett Spencer deserves an opportunity to defend their character. It just bothers me.
Out of order. Press your button and we'll call on you.
We would appreciate the opportunity to make a
Commissioner
presentation
Markham.
and let the other group make a presentation as well, but that's y'all's business.
Commissioner
not ours.
Markham.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry,
Chairman.
I can't answer your question.
I think we need to have the presentation made, and man, I want to get personal, and I'm not going to do it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Markham. Commissioner Barnard, is there any other thing specific to the amendment?
I don't know how to approach this. You won't let me say what I want to say, so it's back in your hands. Do what
Do
you
what y'all
want.
plan to do anyway.
Okay, thank you for that, Commissioner Barnard. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll call vote this, and we are voting specifically on the amendment to send both of these owner advocates to the full commission. Well, I guess it'll go to budget. Is that correct, Daniel? Okay, it's going to go to budget. Correct. We're just voting on the amendment. Commissioner Green. Yes. Commissioner Markham. Yes. Commissioner Jeter. No. Commissioner McCollum. Commissioner Grodi.
No.
Commissioner Nutt.
No.
Chair votes no. That amendment fails. Okay, we are back on the motion on the floor. And we've got lots of lights still lit up here. Commissioner Woolever, thank you for your patience, sir.
I appreciate your time, Mr. Chairman, and I would suggest, Mr. Chairman, that realizing that there are a lot of lights on, that you ask everyone to use some discretion about how long they take.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've been a commissioner during the time that we've been dealing with Hewlett Spencer, and they have a proven track record. Have they done everything exactly like I wanted them to do? Probably not. However, they have a proven track record with Maury County, and my support will go with Hewlett Spencer. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Woolever. Commissioner Morrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to echo Commissioner Woolever, Commissioner Previti, Commissioner Green. I was working for the school system when Hewlett Spencer came on board, and it was daylight and dark difference in between them and SSOE. SSOE could not hit any target you put in front of them. Everything always went over budget. Hewlett Spencer came in, they said what it would be, and that's what it was. If they missed something during COVID, that's fine. Everybody in the world missed something during COVID because everything was out of control and nobody could control anything. In my experience with them through the school system, and then I had a gap, but now with the county, I've been very satisfied with what they've done. I'm satisfied they do what they say they're gonna do. You can have a presentation from somebody, that's fine. They have a track record. These other guys, we've not dealt with them. They can say they're gonna do anything. We haven't seen if they'll do it or not. We know these guys will. Been very satisfied with them. I'll continue to support them. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Morrow. Commissioner Grooms.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't, the school board's been thrown under the bus a little bit here tonight. And I've talked to my school board member, and there's a reason why things happened the way they did at Battle Creek. So all of those who want to know about that, you need to reach out to your school board members, and they'll be happy to tell you what happened at Battle Creek. So I mean, I'm just gonna leave it at that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Grooms. I'm going to come back to the committee quickly. Commissioner Jeter, did you still want to say something?
I do. I've got a couple questions for both parties. Let's start with Bart Klein, if I can, Mr. Chairman. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I was hoping I wouldn't have to ask this question. But I feel like I have no choice. Bart, have you, your company, or anybody you work for, have you all ever sent a gift in any form, any value to anybody on this commission? No. Y'all haven't bought anybody's lunch? You haven't sent any gifts in the mail to individuals' homes? That has never happened?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Mr. Hewlett, would you please come to the mic? Steve, you heard the question. I'd like an answer, please.
The answer is that we've tried not to miss a school board member or a county commissioner for a Christmas gift, which we sent to everybody every year. So if there's anybody that didn't get one, I apologize. But Abby and Jamie, have we missed anybody that y'all know of? I don't think we've ever done it, and that's what that's about. Now,
fair enough. That answers the question. I have one more question for you. So, in your report, Steve, you say in your report twice, page 2 and page 26, it says that you have an open, competitive bid process.
Yes.
Okay? I would like, if this committee or this commission is going to entertain hiring you again, and your company again, I would like to see the bid tabulations from those open and competitive bids that you and your organization have put out that made you decide to hire the contractors that you hired on the projects that you've done for Maury County and the architects. I want to see the bid tabulations. Can you provide that?
Yes, we can show you that. As a matter of fact.
Okay, off the top of your head.
As a matter of fact,
hold on, Steve. Hold on, Steve. Hold on. Hold on.
No,
Steve.
let me answer your question.
No, you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question.
You're trying to ask me something that isn't accurate.
Judicial Center. It's a project you're currently working for us. I do believe the GCs on that project are doing a great job. I've walked through that building. They are doing a great job. I haven't looked at the financials. but I believe the building is coming together nicely. That project, you have awarded that project to Bell and Associates, correct?
Yes.
How many other GCs did you receive bids from on that project?
On that, absolutely none from the GCs. We negotiated them. The architects you hire based on presentations. The GCs you can hire that way. But if you want the low bidder and the low quality, that's the way you do it. We negotiate those fees. Everybody knows what's standard. We negotiate those fees. And that's why we've worked with different contractors. And Bell doesn't get all of our work. Another contractor similar to them is the Matthews Company out of Nashville. Now, I haven't had them down here before, but Bell knows they're competing with them. They've built a dormitory with us as the owner's advocate for Trevecca Nazarene University. They built a 4-story health sciences building that we did for Trevecca Nazarene University. And we negotiate the prices with them, and none of those are out of line with anybody. And
my point is, Mr. Chairman, my point is, their proposal says that they have an open and competitive bid process. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe that they hire their general contractor, and that general contractor bids out their scope of work. And that I don't believe that Hewlett and Spencer is bidding their GCs out, and that's my point. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I need to be able to respond to that, please. That's an inaccurate, he's leaving a very inaccurate picture.
Please,
May I?
You have 30 seconds, please.
Stan Breeden, from the beginning, was the representative of the school board. Different chairman of this commission. On that Justice Center, Don Mara came to Bell's offices, I don't know how many times, to go through the bids. We, the team, brings them in. The architect is there to vet them. Whomever the architect is, they work with us on it, because we're not just looking for prices, we're looking for ways to cut the cost as well, to make sure you're getting the quality and to make sure that the bids are right according to the specifications. But sometimes the specifications leave places where you don't want people bidding things you don't need or want or don't want to pay for. So we always have an open bidding process, and all the bidding the general contractors is the way you get low bidders and low quality. Negotiating with quality people is how you get good quality work from people that do the work, that man up the jobs,
Thank you.
and have the
Mr.
personnel
Hewlett.
on the jobs that you need to have on the jobs. And that's what we do, and that's why it works so well. And the other process, which call it by any other name, to hire an architect and a contractor to do all of your work is not the way you get the best product in the long run, totally.
Thank you, Mr. Hewlett.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We've got 4 lights still on, and we need to put this thing to bed here. So, Commissioner Prevetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Doug, would you answer a yes or no question for me? Well, yeah, Doug, would you answer a yes or no question for me, please? Okay. How many bids were presented on Battle Creek High School at the bid opening?
There was one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
But it
When
was
I started
open
out, that was all I wanted. That was all I wanted,
Oh,
sir.
I know
Thank
you don't want explanation.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
I was asked to talk.
He was asked a question. He needs to be allowed to answer it.
I answer,
No, he said he would answer if it was yes or no.
Out of order.
It was yes or no, and he gave me the yes or
No,
no.
it wasn't a simple yes or no.
Out of order.
I was at the bid opening. It was a yes or no. It was a one bid. There was only one.
Why did you ask the question if you knew the answer, Commissioner?
Because I wanted someone else to answer it. Okay. When I started out,
Commissioner Prevetti, we stop for just a second. Guys, there needs to be respect in this room. This is not a respectable way. We are being viewed at a statewide level, at a local level. I believe that everyone has had fair time tonight to talk. We're all passionate about the things that we're passionate about. I do not think that we need disrespect any further in this room. And so,
there was no disrespect.
Chairman Prevetti, if you can please, if you already knew the answer to that, just state that on the record, please?
Very good, then I'll state for the record
Thank-
that there was only one bid
Thank you.
presented for Battle Creek High School. That said, I don't think that there was a fair bid process because I don't know that everyone was allowed to respond. I can't answer to that. That said, when I started out earlier, Commissioner Jeter in his comments earlier mentioned that there was multiple references inside the pack from Klein, and I agree, I concurred with that. But as I started out, I heard 3 commissioners, a living reference to Hewlett Spencer that has since grown to 8 as the comments increased. So that's 8 references, positive references for Hewlett Spencer, Mr. Chairman. That's all I wanted to add at this point. Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Pravetti. All right,
Hello.
Commissioners,
Is it possible for me to address some comments that came out to Klein Swinney Associates? I feel like I need to respond to some things that are, one, inaccurate. Because I know, I just feel like it's important for me to respond.
We can't just have people walking up to the microphone, sir.
not at this time, Bart. Commissioner Summers, you've been super patient. Thank you.
That's quite remarkable, I think. Only the second time I've turned my light on all night, and I tell you what, I'm really embarrassed. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for someone to turn their microphone on, make comments, and I'm talking to you, Mr. Chairman, not about you, but to you. It's embarrassing for someone to turn their microphone on and get recognized and then say something and then won't elaborate on what they said, but they'll infer something, and they won't say that let's say there's inaccuracies or falsehoods in these RFPs, and they won't say what they are. But they'll infer there's something wrong, or there's lying or something going on. That's embarrassing. Another thing that's embarrassing too is, and I have respect for Mr. Lukonen, but he gets up and he's mad. You said you were pissed off. But anyway, that's beside the point. That's embarrassing. I don't know what Hewlett Spencer has done to some of these folks to make them so upset. I have no idea. But I do know that when we hired them, when the school board hired them, the school board was in a tough spot with SSOE, has been stated before. We were in a tough spot in a budget crunch with the Lasea Fire Hall. That's been well documented. We asked them to do something and they did exactly what we asked them to do. They didn't do anything wrong on that project. And they've done nothing but do what we've asked them to do on every other project that we've had them be the advocate. If this commission wants to switch, make a change, that's fine. That's what this commission is for, to vote up and down on issues. But I think if there's going to be some allegations alleged, I think they need to come out. I think people need to know what's false and what's not false. I don't know. Just by looking at the just looking at the proposal, I have no idea. But I think that's just disingenuous to me that would happen. So I'm trying to choose my words here carefully. But we as a commission, we have to not get along. We're not always going to get along. But we do have to be respectful, and be respectful to the people that are in this room as well, and that have made an effort to even prepare a proposal. That took a lot of time. I mean, they have these things probably pretty much stocked, but but it took some time to do those, and I appreciate that. But we have to be professional when we're here. Me and Mr. Pravetti can go outside and yell at each other all we want to, but we got to be professional in here. And if there are things that need to be said in these meetings, they can be said, and they can be said professionally. They can be said. They need to. Well, I'll just say this: if there's anything false or not true in these proposals, I think we as a commission need to know, and there doesn't need to be any speculation on my part or anybody else's part. So I would like to know what that is. I think that's the right way to go, Mr. Chairman. And that may make your meeting a little bit longer. I don't know. But I think if somebody's going to say something like that, then I think the right thing to do is to handle it and to take care of it and to make sure we all know what's going on that we may not know. But I think we all need to be professional here, and we all need to act like we've been here before. We have been here before. Some have not been here as long as I have, but you have to act like you've been here before. And I just think that what's happened here tonight has been, it's a little bit embarrassing for me. And I've witnessed quite a few things here, but I think it's pretty bad, a pretty bad look. And I hope that we can get past this and move on and do the work that our constituents want us to do here. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sumners. Commissioner Jeter.
And I do have notes here, Commissioner Sumners, and I don't have any problem going over what I think is potential. And again, I agree with what you're saying. I think that we need to be respectful to one another. This is, I think you made a comment a while ago that you don't know what Hewlett & Spencer's done to make a few of us upset. I'm not upset. I know sometimes I come off upset, but I'm not upset. I do believe what I believe. Mr. Chairman, I'll go over some of the notes I have here from the proposal that I feel are potential issues that I have with their statements.
Commissioner Jeter, if we could just keep it, I do think some of those things, I would like, some of the answers to some of those, but let's try to keep it brief.
It will be. They state on page 2 that absolutely no change orders for items that are not a result of the owner's request. I think that in itself is an accurate statement. I think in practicality, it's not accurate. You talk to the department heads that have been involved in some of these projects over the years, and how many of these department heads have had to self-perform items that were left off of the drawings, items that were not included in the guaranteed maximum price. So yes, I think it's an accurate statement that they have not brought change orders to us after they give us a guaranteed maximum price. But time and time again, we're giving a product that we have to figure out a way to finish, to self-perform some form or fashion of that project. He states, they also state on page 2 that no financial risk to the owner after the GMP approval or approved plans and specs. And again, that goes to the same argument. I was made aware, and I wished Al Ray was still here. He could probably come up, or he is here. He could probably talk about it. But it's my understanding that Al Ray and his department has had to self-perform some of the work out there on that project. It's just an interesting aspect of this. The open and competitive hard bid process on every project says on page 2 and page 26, I commented to that. I don't believe that to be the case, ladies and gentlemen. And right, wrong, or indifferent, Hewlett & Spencer is not bidding this stuff out. They are negotiating with their contractor. They're negotiating with their engineers and their architects. And they leave the bidding process to the GC. That's my understanding. If they are bidding these projects out to GCs, I think if they claim they want to be open and transparent, I think that those bid tabulations should be shared with this committee. The last piece here is they say they in their proposal, they provide a complete turnkey delivery. We've seen the fire station at Lasea Road.
No, sir.
It's not an example of a turnkey situation. Part 2 courthouse, it's my understanding that we had to complete a lot of the internals of that building. Talk with some of the department heads. Talk with Judge Bailey down there in Part 2 court. And again, Unali Ag Center. Those are the issues that I have. Is I don't believe Ray Jeter, and you could disagree with me, and we can all go home and still like one another, right? We can go to dinner afterwards and have a drink. But I don't believe that we are getting exactly what is being proposed. And for that reason, that's where I stand on this issue. And, you know, I think it matters. Maury County is going to spend a lot of money on building projects in the next 5 to 10 years. And it's important that we get this decision right for the people of Maury County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Jeter. We've got 3 lights, and we're going to vote on this. Commissioner Morrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no disrespect toward the other gentleman. I don't know them personally, and they have not done any work for us that I'm aware of. So they're kind of an unknown quantity. I'm sure they're good at what they do. Hewlett Spencer is a very known quantity. We have experience with them. It has by and large been excellent. They have been, as I said a while ago, they are very stand-up people. They have done what they said they would do. Let's say this goes back to the school system and on into the county. I'm a little disturbed by the implication that anybody on this commission or the school board would have their support swayed by a Christmas gift of cheese. You know, if they were handing out envelopes full of $100 bills, yeah, I could see that as a problem. But I'm neither naive nor corrupt enough to be influenced by a box of cheese. Sorry, folks. But I will support Hewlett Spencer, like I say, as a proven entity. And I say no ill will toward the other group at all, but you know, if it works, as there an old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Morrow. Commissioner Barner.
Thank you, Chair. I concur with Commissioner Morrow. Going back, and I don't know if you all know this or not, and it may not even be relevant to the fact, but when I met Steve Hewlett, I was on the school board. And Steve and his company did some work for the school board, which impressed me. They got the work done on time, on schedule, and all of that kind of stuff. So that impressed me. And since then, from what I have been made aware of since I've been on the county commission, whatever Hewlett Spencer started out with, they finished the project within the time frame that was before them and things of this nature. As far as I'm concerned, the work and the effort that they put forward in regard to doing work for Maury County has been more than good. It's been great and things of this nature. I don't know what the issue is with them right now in regard to letting them keep doing what they have done for Maury County in the past. And I don't understand, you know, why it seems to me to be an attempt to kick them to the curb and go with somebody else. You know, it's puzzling me because I can't see what the reason is for this, and I'm gonna call it what it is, for this assault on Hewlett Spencer. And that's all I gotta say right now.
Thank you, Commissioner Barner. Commissioner Pravetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wish to address what Mr. Jeter said on the two items. They keep getting brought back up over and over again. Hewlett Spencer did what they were paid to do on the fire hall at Lasea. Originally, that fire hall did not have living quarters designed to it. The fire department requested changes to have been made. They took out items over here and added it over here to do living quarters. It was not in the original plans. At the end of the day, blame that county commission, because that county commission would not give additional funding to do everything needed to give those living quarters there. And so that's why that fire ended up the way it is. Part 2 courthouse. Part 2 court was in the Workman building in Mount Pleasant, a 105-year-old building that it had been talked about for years to do something about that facility. And I led the building committee on a field trip down there, and the epiphany when everybody saw that led to that getting built. There again, the drawings were done, and the commission allocated X amount of money. There was not a steering committee, and so when the attorneys requested changes, when the judge requested changes, we would not give the money to do it. And what Hewlett Spencer did was finish the project with the hand they were dealt. They did what they were told to do. So they gave the turnkey. They at the end of the day, blame that commission. There wasn't a steering committee. Blame the commission. They would not allocate additional funds to do those two projects the way the departments being that court down there wanted them. At the end of the day, that was the answer. It wasn't Hewlett Spencer's fault. So they're on trial. So that in their defense, that's that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Previti. A couple more names have been added to the list. Commissioner Stovall.
Thank you, Chairman. Howard. Sorry, I had to think I was addressing. I don't want to take this personal, and I don't want anybody in here to take it personally. I'm passionate about what I do. I want to do the right thing. And when I see somebody being mistreated, not being dealt with in a proper way, in a Christian way, I have a problem with that. And I think, and my wife said don't think too much because I get in trouble when I think so, that we need to do the right thing. We brought this name, we brought Klein and Spencer here. Like I said, I have no disrespect to you guys because I hadn't never met you guys. I don't really know. I've seen young man in here before, but I don't know anything about them. And no disrespect to you, for your company or what have you. But I do know Steve, and I do know him to be an outstanding man. And I do believe in his company because he has helped Maury County do a lot and save Maury County a whole lot of money. And I just want to say, I want to be fair. I don't want to disrespect any commission. I know you have your whatever you want to do. You have your opinion as well as I have mine. We all have them. But let's do the right thing. We said we voted it down not to take it to the full commission for a vote. Didn't we do that?
Correct.
So I think that was a bad decision not to do that, because we all should have the opportunity to do that. Just like, I'm gonna bring up the past school system, what we did the other day. We did this to the school. We brought it back. Some commissioners said, I don't think they should do this, but they turned right around and did the same thing that we did, that I had already did, me and Mr. Markham had already done. So I mean, it's not a two-sided coin here. It's a one-sided coin sometimes when I look at it. And if we're gonna discuss things, quit breaking the sunshine law.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Stovall. Commissioner Bridenbaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be as brief as possible. Resisted speaking until now, partially because, as many have observed, tempers have flared passions are high, and to respond in the heat of the moment, sometimes you speak and regret it later. So I've kind of stood by for a little bit. Been on this commission for 2 years, so my experience is limited, and I've listened to all of those that have been here long before me about the experiences that they've had with Hewlett Spencer. I too concur with Mr. Morrow and some of the others that I don't know Klein Sweeney. I know they're a respected company. They're very large. They're probably good at what they do. But when you get to be my age and the other Jerry's age, we tell stories a lot. So I'll end with this analogy. As I grew up, my father was loyal to 2 different brands. Never owned anything but a Cub Cadet lawn tractor or a Buick automobile. Okay. I've never owned anything but a Cub Cadet lawn tractor and a Buick automobile. Why? Because they've been dependable. I've never had to look for anything else. And I think that's what we're doing here. Hewlett Spencer has done a fine job in the projects that I have been involved in. And I've watched, y'all know, I've watched the Judicial Center. I mean, that's my job. So I'm interested in how that ends. And I just think that we just don't need to change just for the sake of change. And I will be supporting Hewlett Spencer throughout. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Broadball. It's because you've never owned a Chevy. Hey, in closing, I want to do something here. I know that Mr. Hewlett, got quite a bit of time to respond to questions. So I just wanted to give you 3 minutes to talk about Hewlett Spencer and why Hewlett Spencer is the right choice, and then I want to do the same thing for Bart, Klein, and Sweeney. And so, Mr. Hewlett, if you would like that time.
Thank you very kindly. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that you're going to give Mr. Klein the same opportunity too, because this normally we would have had presentations on something as important as this, and so this is part of my 3 minutes. There have even been times when in the bidding process, I found out some very qualified sub was not bidding the work. And I'm the one that would go to them and say, why are you not bidding it? Well, this contractor or that contractor of all the different ones, they usually use somebody else, and it takes a lot of time and effort to bid a job. And so we probably wouldn't get the job anyway. So I'm the one that has to go to say, you will have the opportunity because I'm watching this bid process. And I could name some names, but I'm not going to bring the businesses and the reputation of them into a question when somebody's questioning the openness and the character actually of our process. But those are good people, and sometimes people won't bid work. The school board came to us one time, but I got them to come bid, and guess what? Quality bidder, and they got the bid. The contractor that preferred, the contractor that was working for us didn't get to use who they normally would have used. So we come in there to help you get better quality subcontractors and suppliers. The school board called us one time, and they put out an RFP, spent the money on the architect, put it out for bids. It was about $5 million worth of work, and it was when everybody was really busy before COVID, and they couldn't get anybody to bid it. So we stepped in and took it over and got the work done for them. Their estimate was about $5 million, and we got it done. Actually, spent less than the $5 million, and they found other things that in addition to what we got done for them, with a general contractor, bidding out the individual piece parts of it and putting it together, we actually got it done for about $1 million less than that. So I could give you, people that don't understand what we do and who we are don't understand, well, why do those other processes end up with problems? There have been times when people did not take our recommendations and they paid dearly for it. So we appreciate the confidence that most of y'all have expressed in us, the ones who've been here and worked with us. And I want to close with a moment of humor, if I may, because it amazes me sometimes how we think. But if you want us, we're going to keep looking out for the people we work for first, not ourselves. And we think we work for a lot less than we're worth. And some people would disagree with that, but we know that we've saved more, much more. And even if you don't hire us, every one of you is going to get a Christmas present this year.
Thank you so much. And Bart, if you want to come up and, again, that same 3 minutes, just, I know a lot of comments tonight have been, based around, hey, we don't know who you are. And so if you could kind of respond to some of the statements and things that were made tonight and just tell us about you guys.
Yes, so my name is Bart Klein with Klein Swinney Associates. I've seen a lot of you before because we've been representing the school system for about 4 years now. We were brought in under an RFQ process to hire an architect, and at that time, Hewlett Spencer held the contract for construction manager, and we were going to work with Hewlett Spencer. Due to the project, however it unfolded, Hewlett Spencer did not proceed, and we were asked by the school system, because at that time there was a number for the high school that was between 115 to 125 million, which Bell had presented, and the CM had presented that to the school system, and the school system at that point, they're looking at having to cut scope, which means make this building smaller, take out an auditorium, this type of stuff. So I'm contracted to the owner, not to the construction manager. So I have to always give my full transparent recommendations to the owner. And the recommendation there was, right now we're bidding projects, similar projects in the market, and these are the numbers we're seeing. So before we go and cut out program because they needed to house 2,000 students, let's go to the bid market. We put a number out there about $107, $110 million for this school. We bid it. It came in at $103 million. The project is a month from being done, and $3.5 million is going back to the county.